The School of Management and/or Yale University in no way endorse this video. Yale University's School of Management is located in New Haven, Connecticut, just outside of Yale's main campus. Although SOM was only founded in 1976, it has quickly moved up the MBA ranks. The school was recently ranked number 1 by the U.S. News & World Report for nonprofit management and is also considered strong in both finance and strategic management. SOM standings in the most recent publication rankings of top American MBA programs are as follows. The Wall Street Journal and Forbes magazine both ranked SOM as the 8th top program in the nation. The U.S. News & World Report placed it as the 10th, and Business Week as the 24th. Internationally, SOM was named as the 9th top program by the Financial Times and 15th by The Economist. Although the school has fewer than 400 full-time MBA students, its faculty boasts over 90 members, including joint staff. A new $145 million building has been approved, and construction should begin sometime in 2010, with a target opening date of 2011. Let's meet some students.
Hello, my name is Jason Robinson. I went to undergraduate at the University of Virginia. I've been in the Navy for the past 8 years.
My name is Monica. I went to Beijing University in China, and then I went to UC Irvine for my master's degree in social sciences.
I'm Vipin Nakor, and I'm a second-year MBA student here at the Yale School of Management. And I'm from Canada. I went to undergrad at the University of Western Ontario and studied computer science there.
All right, my name is Erica Thomas. I am a first year at the School of Management. I went to Yale undergrad, graduated 2 years ago, and worked for Yale for the 2 years in between.
Hi, my name is Eric Geary. Prior to coming to business school, I went to undergraduate at the United States Military Academy at West Point. After that, I spent a little over 5 years in the Army. Stationed in Germany, went to Kosovo for 9 months, went to Iraq and Kuwait for over a year.
Hi, I'm Kyle Jones. I am a third-year student between the business school and the School of Forestry and Environmental Studies.
Why did you choose SOM?
I came to SOM primarily because of the quality of the school, but additionally the people here. I really felt a connection to the community here. For me, it was a no-brainer. I fell in love with the place when I was here and haven't looked back ever since.
I came to SOM because I was interested in nonprofit sector, and I think Yale has a very good general environment for me to learn. And it says in the website that they put emphasis on learning, and the school size is relatively small, which will promote a lot of interactions among students.
I came to Yale primarily because of the type of people that come here. I think they're great people to work with, people that are all dedicated to being leaders in their field, a diverse population, people that I can see myself being lifelong friends with, and people that I learned a tremendous amount from.
I picked the School of Management because I wanted to go into nonprofit management at some point, and this is the place to do it.
The big thing, at least one of the big things that really attracted me to the School of Management was the fact that they really foster a collaborative environment among students here. There's not as much cutthroat competition as there exists at a lot of other schools. And then of course there's a brand name. The School of Management, being part of Yale University, has good brand name recognition.
I decided to come to Yale because they have a lot of joint degree program possibilities, and I was interested in doing a joint program with the Forestry School in their environmental management program.
Can you describe your joint degree program?
It's a split program, so you do 1.5 years at the business school and 1.5 years at the forestry school. And you take the business school core classes, and then you take whatever program of study you want to at the forestry school. I'm doing a track on energy management. So this past summer I worked at a bank in their energy group doing utility strategies and things like that. There were a few comparable programs, but Yale's program was the most flexible in that you weren't, while you're enrolled in the joint program, you have access to all the resources at both schools, whereas some of the other programs, when you're enrolled in one, you really don't have access to the other one in terms of their career research resources and speakers, student clubs, things like that. But in the joint programs at Yale, the entire time you're here, you have access to all of the resources at all the schools that you're enrolled in at the time.
What other schools did you apply to?
I visited HBS, MIT Sloan, and a couple others to include Boston University and University of Connecticut. And I only actually applied to one other school because I fell in love with SOM, so it wasn't much of a choice for me.
I basically looked at Harvard, Stanford, and Yale as my primary three choices. Mainly, I'm going into healthcare, and I'm focused on a lot of schools that really look at both the private sector and public sector, and I thought those three schools did a good job at doing that and also developing leaders, since I hope to develop as a leader in the field of healthcare.
Yale is known for nonprofit business education. What percentage of students would you say are interested in nonprofit?
Probably something like 40%. They've done unofficial shows of hands occasionally, but the number of people who actually go straight into nonprofit management right out of graduation is a little bit lower, just because it's hard to, the jobs come on a different schedule from corporate jobs, and a lot of people want to get into nonprofit management later in life, so.
But you also have to pay off your loans.
That's true.
As someone interested in healthcare, are you more interested in profit or non?
It's dealing with everything in healthcare. Right now in the United States, it's one of the few, it's probably the one industry that cuts across public and private sector more than any other industry, and you really have to understand everything.
Why do you want an MBA? What do you plan to do with your degree?
I'm actually interested in working maybe for government, public policy related, but I'm actually still finalizing my decisions.
Coming kind of from a non-traditional background, the business school, being in the military before, I'm not really sure as a career changer. I think right now consulting would offer a lot of challenges and a lot of things that I look for, and then perhaps eventually general management, but I'm still open.
Well, I knew I wasn't going to be in the military for a full career, being 20 years or longer. I knew my primary interest lies in hospital administration and healthcare industry, and I knew I would be better equipped to do so if I had the business knowledge to couple with my previous leadership experience in the military. So here I am.
Was cost a factor in determining which school to attend?
No, I knew I was going to make it happen at some point. I already had plenty of loans from undergrad, so no point in trying to avoid more.
How have you found your fellow students?
I've been extremely impressed. It truly is a very, very diverse group here. And I've had some rather unique experiences in my background, but I run into people every day where I'm just like, wow. So it's really great. It adds a lot of vibrancy and dynamism to the experience, I think.
A highly intelligent group of people and very diverse community here. I mean, a very friendly environment, very teamwork-oriented environment. That's really what drew me to coming here. I mean, everyone here is always willing to lend a helping hand. I mean, no matter what, any time of day you send someone an email, phone call, stop them in the hallway, they'll stop what they're doing to give you a hand. Everybody wants everyone else to succeed here instead of just looking out for their own interests, which I think you see at a lot of the other top schools.
Everyone's really smart, but the classes are an experience. It's nice. They kind of level everybody out a little bit just because there are things that are hard for a lot of people, and I don't feel like I'm alone when I'm having trouble understanding finance or anything.
Can you describe the grading system?
It's a unique grading system. We have distinction, proficient, pass, and fail. So it eliminates to a certain degree the amount of competitiveness that you might see at some of the other top schools.
How would you compare the workload to your prior experiences?
I think it's difficult in a different way because in college you could take the classes that kind of interested you, and you could take some classes that were easier, but the first semester and a half or so everyone takes the same classes. So whether you want to or not, you're taking finance, you're taking accounting, you're taking econ, and it was easier to avoid classes that would have been hard for me in college.
Well, each class is at least 80 minutes, and you have 5 classes that each meet twice a week, so you can do the math on that. And then in terms of the problem sets that you have due each week, it's safe to say that you can't really go more than maybe one day on the weekend without doing some kind of homework if you want to be prepared for the next week.
Yale's known to have a very, very challenging workload, but our grading system, it's very focused on making sure that you learn as opposed to try to get like a top grade or whatnot. So that takes a lot of the pressure off despite the high workload. And a lot of it throughout the 2 years, it's a lot of busy work as well. So you have a lot of things to do, and now second year there's less class work, but there's so many other leadership things you're involved with. I'm in charge of a few clubs, so between that and recruiting and whatnot, gets pretty hectic.
How do you like New Haven?
I love New Haven. Great town, a lot of great places to eat, and great people here. A lot of things to do, a lot of arts and culture to become involved in. So it's a very good place to be, especially if you're married.
10, 15 years ago, it wasn't the safest place, but Yale University in general has put a lot of effort into kind of revitalizing the city. There's a lot of good restaurants. I mean, it's not New York. It's not a big city, but it's very livable. The neighborhoods are really cute. There's a lot of good restaurants, lots of parks in the area. I've really liked it. It's also really convenient that it's so close to New York and so close to Boston.
It seems that things have gotten a whole lot better from what they were 10 or 15 years ago. And that doesn't mean that there isn't any crime. There is, but as long as you kind of emphasize some caution and just have some awareness of your surroundings, you'll be fine.
I mean, I've been to other places and lived in other areas around the States and whatnot, and I think New Haven, it's a great place to be. It's a good-sized town. For the size town, there's a lot to do, and it's really close to New York, so anytime you want to get out, you just jump on the train and you're there in an hour and a half.
I love New Haven. I love that I don't really need a car. I just have my bike and it gets me around just fine. It's got problems, but it's a city. Stuff happens.
Do you need a car?
You don't need a car, no. I have one and I really like it. I don't know, maybe I'm just lazy, but a lot of my friends don't have cars and they're totally fine with that.
What has surprised you most about your experiences here?
The workload, I expect it to be busy, but to balance that with the career search and the networking with fellow students and with visiting company representatives, it's been pretty tough, but I've enjoyed it and it's been very rewarding, so it surprised me in a good way.
I think what surprised me most was that how friendly everybody is here. Coming from a non-business background, I was a little nervous that I wasn't going to get along with the business school students. Historically, my friends in the past have not really been business-type people, but I've been really surprised how many good friends I've made here and how much I've enjoyed it, actually.
Actually, I've been surprised by how hard I've had to work to stay on top of things. I didn't necessarily expect to coast through here, but I've actually been busting my butt. None of it's impossible, but it requires a lot of effort. So
I actually like New Haven a lot more than I expected. Two, being in a small school was one thing. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to a big school like Harvard where they have 1,000 people, and I thought maybe I'll meet more people there, but coming here, I realized that there's so many people to meet at the rest of the school, and even, 250 people in a class is still a lot of people to meet. You meet the people, the class older than you, the class below you, and you end up really making a huge network, whereas if you're at a huge school, you only get to know a small piece of that huge school. Usually the people in your own section, it's because it's kind of overwhelming. So here you get to know your class really well, all 250, I know them all by name, every single one of them. And I know all the people, I know most of the people a year older than me by the end of last year, and a lot of them, the new first years, I already know.
How do you like the facilities?
when it comes to like space to meet in groups and stuff like that, space is very cramped, and it's kind of a perennial concern. Even when I visited here, I talked to students and they said that was one of the problems, and I guess I would just definitely echo that. But I do know that they're in the process of trying to fix that, so that's very encouraging.
Athletic facilities are great. The school facilities at SOM, aren't quite as good as they could be, and the dean recognizes that. He has a plan that he's implementing to correct that within the next few years, to have a bigger campus, more study facilities, more computer facilities. So he recognizes that, and he's addressing that. The students are aware of that, but that can't be your top decision maker when it comes to finding a school. If that were the case, pretty much everyone would be here, because there's a lot of schools with better facilities, but that's a minor thing in my opinion.
Can you describe the student-faculty relationship?
I didn't realize how smart and sharp some of the faculty were, and how accomplished they were. If you look at all the faculty, all their resumes, they've all just done phenomenal things. Obviously at any school you're going to have your favorites and people that are less favorite, but there's a lot more people here than I had expected who really take the time to get to know you and teach you on a one-on-one basis as well when you go ask for help.
Faculty here have been amazing. I mean, they really enjoy what they're doing. They're not too caught up in their research. They love teaching, they love helping students. Every single professor I have, you can be seen after class for however long it takes to answer questions. So they have their advertised office hours, but you know, they really put much more into it than that when it comes to helping the students. They'll do whatever it takes to make sure a student is equipped to succeed in their classes.
Do you feel as though your prior worldview has been challenged in your time here?
I really have been challenged in terms of some of the views I held strongly, and I think that's just because of the population, the people that come here. People are just from such a variety of different backgrounds. There are people from, I think, 30 different countries in our class, and we're considered a small school. So yeah, people are leaders here, and they'll come at you, and it's a lot of fun. Everyone gets along great, but at the same time, yeah, we'll challenge each other, and we all, I think, grow from it as well.
Do students have time to get to New York City?
Yeah, every few weeks or so. It's not that far away. I like going to New York, but I like being able to come back that night and sleep in a quieter place.
Personally, I find there's always parties and social things going on here on campus. I'll tend to head up there. I got a lot of friends in New York. I'll maybe head up once a month, and I'll go there for a night or something like that and just hang out with them. But it's what you want. If you want to make it up there every weekend, you know, as long as you get your work done while you're up there and you can be disciplined, you can make it happen.
We go to New York a lot. It's just an hour-and-a-half train ride. We go there a lot for, you know, job interviews, seminars. For fun, I don't go down too much. I mean, we'll go down, you know, once every couple months, but it's really easy. There are some students that go down to New York every weekend. It's a quick train ride, and it's really cheap to get there.
What kind of person might not be happy here?
Someone who is not a team player would not fit in here. Someone who doesn't like working with people of various cultures and backgrounds should not come here.
If you're the type of person that always has to be the absolute best and be in front and answer every question, you might want to examine whether you really want to be at SOM, because it's about learning, but not necessarily always about demonstrating to everybody how much you know.
I would say somebody who just isn't willing to put in the work, somebody who wants to coast through school, because there's just no room for that. They will take care of you, and there are a lot of people to help you if you're having problems, but you have to be willing to work really hard on your own.
If you're someone that doesn't do well in small school settings, for example, if you get sick of hanging out with the same people all the time, this might not be the best school for you. That's one of the reasons that I really like it here, is that I've really gotten to know everybody in my class really well. But I guess if you're kind of a more ADD type person, if you need to be constantly meeting new people and doing new things, this might not be the best place for you.
If you're only looking for a job and that's all you want to do, not that, I mean, I think it's a great place to get jobs. Everyone's getting recruited here, but you're going to pay a lot of money and you want to come here and you make sure that you really want to develop as a person and grow as a leader, and you have a long-term vision to be a leader in your field. If you just want to get a job and that's the only thing you want to do, I probably wouldn't recommend going to a top business school just for that, because I think the top business schools, they give you so much leadership development and so much growth and some of the intangibles where you grow as a person.
What can you find here that you can't find elsewhere?
I've heard a lot of people say that it's a different community, a different feel from what they felt at other business schools. That just they walked in here and everyone was really happy and really laid back and not so intense. There's not a lot of competition, which I think is a great thing. We're not competing with each other, we're all kind of competing with ourselves to do as well as we can.
Accountability seems to be a theme here. Are business ethics a focus?
Yes, they definitely are, and especially with our new dean here, Joel Pedoni. He's re-emphasized it, and it was his idea to add the accountability section to the website to really help in the branding of SOM and producing leaders for business and society, and really focusing on the social aspect of it and not just the business side of it.
I think it's a great idea what Dean Podolny's done. He's the new dean right now, and he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's really trying to brand the school that way and make sure we're getting the right type of people here, people who really do want to elevate the MBA profession. Because right now you have doctors and lawyers, and there are professions out there that are considered professions, whereas MBA right now still isn't at that level. For us to elevate ourselves as a field, we need to show that we're doing more good to society than harm. So.
What advice do you have for prospective MBA students?
Just take it seriously, do research into what you want to do and what the school has to offer that might help you with that. And know what you're in for. Just know what classes are going to be coming up and what skills you need to have. Study for the GMAT.
I would say just in general, look for schools that have a personality or a certain environment that you think that you'd be comfortable in. Just because you get accepted to a really great school like perhaps Harvard Business School or whatever, you just need to be aware of the environment that you're going into, and that's the same for Yale. You just need to kind of talk to the students when you come to visit and try to get a sense of that, because even if it's a great school or a highly ranked school, if you're not happy there, the experience isn't going to be worth much to you.
For MBA programs in general, know what you want to get out of the MBA and what the school has to offer. Don't listen to a lot of the perceptions and whatnot that are out there. For instance, a lot of people see Yale as a nonprofit school and very strong in nonprofits. However, there's so many people, probably half the classes going into banking and consulting. So what you see is a lot different than what you get a lot of the time. So go out, check out the schools you're interested in, get to know the people. I think that makes the experience.
Definitely visit the schools that you're looking at. When I was first applying, SOM wasn't really in my top 3 choices until I came to visit here. And then once I came to visit here and met the current students and saw New Haven, it just felt like a really good fit. So I think you definitely, in addition to doing background research on the school, you definitely need to visit the actual campuses and meet as many people as possible.
I think SOM is on the rise. It's just getting better and better. And you have a lot of things that you can do to decide the future of SOM. I think this is different than maybe HBS, which has already an established presence.
Specifically SOM, apply, come, because it's a great school, and if you think there's a fit, it's a great place to be.
The primary advice I think I can give would be to stay true to yourself. Don't get caught up in rankings. Obviously, I said I visited HBS and Sloan, which generally speaking are considered higher ranked than Yale, but for me, they didn't fit me. You need to find your own personal fit in a program and everything will fall into place, and it will show in your essays and your interviews if you really fit a program and the program fits you. If you try to force yourself a square peg into a round hole, it's not going to work. So you need to stay true to yourself throughout the process, ask the right questions when you visit, and you'll know. You'll have a feel of the place when you get there, and you'll just know.
Like I said, it's a lot of fun being here.
This is a great school.
It's been really fun.